We have 10 cars lined up here and ready to go. Watkins Glen International Raceway here, and we're underway for the 6th race of the season. It's a good even start there. Blue's got a good start as we're watching on board from Orange, who overtakes Yellow, approaching the leaders, and Cyan cuts across, and there's contact. There's contact. The two championship leaders are out in the first corner, and there's another spinner there. It looks like Yellow. Black has dropped down the order. What a dramatic start to this race as Orange now leads and Yellow also drops down. Red looks like he's able to get going again. Cyan looks pretty stranded. Let's see if he can continue. This is big for the championship as Yellow also keeps on going. So at the moment only Cyan has stopped. But Orange here leads the way now, followed by Blue and then Pink. That makes your podium positions there. And Red and Cyan are at the bottom. They're the two championship leaders battling it out. But Red is still able to go in and Cyan is confirmed out as Orange goes through the chicane and has a big wobble there, struggling to find grip in these opening corners. Blue has managed to gain 5 positions, that's half the grid in half a lap. On the other hand, Red has lost 9 positions, falling all the way down to 9th with that contact with Cyan, but he is leading over Cyan in the championship, so every position he can gain from here is 3 points against Cyan. Oh, and here he is going very slowly. He'll be praying for a red flag so that can stop the race, and oh, that's a lot of damage. He won't be able to continue for much longer unless there's a stoppage in the race. And here's Cyan confirmed out with massive implications for the championship standings. And as we look towards Orange, who has never won a race despite standing on the podium 2 times, and that's Lime and Pink dropping down the order there on our telemetry. There might have been some contact there against them. So Black and Yellow, who made contact originally in the first corner, back up and gaining positions again. And I can hear an engine spluttering there, that's not good. And here comes Green, smoke coming out of the back of him, so there's obviously been some shenanigans, and maybe it's just the cars locking up as Purple also has some smoke coming out there, same with Black. So we don't know where Lime and Pink are at the moment, but I've heard they've had contact somewhere in the track, and is this them now? Yes, and they look to be going slower than everyone else. Yes, there's damage on those cars. Lime and Pink struggling, and Lime struggling more as Pink makes contact into the back of Lime, but then Lime just drives away and Pink isn't following. Is Pink out of this race? If this is on the middle of a track, there could be a red flag here as, oh, Lime spins out, too much damage for him, and Pink is not moving. So I fear we'll have a red flag, and there we go. That is saved Red's race, and it's the last thing that Cyan would have wanted in the championship. Let's look at the start again. So we have Red and Cyan pretty even, and Cyan starts to pull ahead and he just sort of drifts along, and then once they make contact there's no way they're avoiding the fence. As we can see it from Red's perspective right now, Cyan cutting across, and yeah, that looks more like Cyan's fault to me, unfortunately. And then they both go straight into the barriers. Red able to continue, and he'll be able to repair his car after the red flag, and there's further contact here as Black is just going way too fast into the corner, sends both him and Yellow spinning, who is making further contact with the other cars. That might have been, there we go, there's contact between Pink and Lime. That's probably what caused them problems later on. So we're back here and ready for the second start after the red flag. Orange leading the race. It's a fair getaway from all the drivers, no one really pulling out ahead. Orange comfortably taking the lead from pole position as Blue slots in behind, and Yellow is sending one down the inside, makes contact with Purple, who makes contact with Black, and Black ends up getting spun around. Purple looks like he got held up there. Red making a lot of positions as someone's wheels fallen off and is slowing down Lime, who also seems to have some damage to his own. The tyre is now released and bouncing across the track. Orange leads, followed by Green, who has managed to overtake Blue in that first lap kerfuffle, followed by Yellow and then Red. And Green's fallen down as Green had a spin at the chicane. He must have, yes, Green there on the runoff, losing that hard-earned second position that he got from starting 9th on the grid. So a very impressive drive up until then. Unfortunate to see all of his hard work disappear like that. Despite being spun around for the second start in a row, Black is still ahead of Lime, who clearly has some sort of damage, and at this rate I don't think Lime will be finishing the race. Orange, starting 3rd this race, is safely in the lead after the 2 championship leaders took themselves out on the first corner of the first lap. So he is zooming into the sunset while all the other colours follow in the carnage and chaos behind. Blue has also managed to make a big climb up from his qualifying position as Yellow finds themselves back in 3rd where they started the race. A great effort to climb back from that first lap spin. So we have all 8 cars who started this lap still in the race. No one's crashed or spun out. We still have Pink and Cyan out from the first lap of this race. But at the moment all seems good as a lot of the cars locking up and Yellow spins around. Commentators curse, all is not good at the moment, as red is now breathing right down the back of yellow's neck. And if yellow continues to struggle, red will put the pressure on and overtake. He's one of the better drivers on this field at the moment, and if yellow gives him the opportunity, he will overtake quick and fast. He has done many times before. Yellow's had one win this season. It was a very good race, that race. But other than that, yellow's really struggled to get into the top couple of positions, and the results haven't been coming in. So it's good to see yellow back in the podium position as we start a new lap and enter corner 1. And yellow locks up a lot and goes wide. Hopefully yellow can just rejoin without any dramas. Oh, yellow's slowing and red overtakes. And then we look towards blue. The timing sheet hasn't updated yet. Hopefully that happens soon. We haven't heard much of Lime yet. I don't know if Lime's still continuing because of that extensive damage that Lime got in the first lap with that tyre. But I don't think, from what I can see, Lime's lapping nearly as quickly as any of the other drivers at the moment. 2 pole positions, but only 1 podium to Blue's name. Blue's had a pretty good season so far, but has just been unfortunate, always finding themselves in the top couple of positions, but never being able to convert those into results. As we see, Lime there is out and the timing sheet is updated so that red is over yellow. That's good. Smoke coming out of Lime's engine. We won't call a red flag because it's off on the side and on a straight, so there isn't really any risk of impeding any of the other drivers' races, so we're able to continue. Now we only have 7 cars left as orange leads, and blue is right on the back of orange there, so it's getting close at the front. Orange obviously not having the pace of blue as blue goes very wide. What's going on there? The pressure must have gotten to blue and they're off the track and they lose a position to red. Again, the timing tower isn't updating, so I don't know what's up with that, but drivers struggling here in Watkins Glen. It's a difficult circuit when there's a lot of cars coming around and the grip is so far proving to be pretty low. An uncharacteristic amount of lockups and spins so far from even some of the best drivers, so we'll have to see how this pans out, but we might not have many finishes by the end. Following yellow's spin, red finds themselves back into the podium positions. Very impressive considering the incident that he had with Cyan at the start. This is really good for him because any points, any positions he gains will directly add on to Cyan and boost his lead into the championship. Purple coming through. Purple still in the race. That's probably the one. Oh, blue is out, says the timing sheet. Blue has dropped from second to out of the race. But as I was saying with purple, really struggled so far. Hasn't really survived too far in many of the races. That's probably the biggest problem with purple is they haven't been able to stay on the track and stay in one piece. Oh, and there's blue and yellow out on the first corner and black as well. Again, no grip. There might even be a spill or something if all 3 drivers have gone off in the same part of the track. But it looks like yellow and blue are out, but black is able to continue on, albeit with extensive damage. I don't know how far black will make it from here. Let's see what happened, because this is really intriguing that all 3 cars have gone off in the same part. Oh, and blue's just dipped a wheel on the grass, and from there you can't really stop, can you? Smash. That's a big incident there. You can see the bonnets all bent up, and then yellow just does the same thing. They're all just following each other's lines, I guess, and then yellow made it a bit further but still ends up meeting the wall, and then black just had no grip, didn't touch the grass or anything, but hits yellow square on. I'm sure yellow and its crew won't be happy about that, but black is able to rejoin and continue in 5th, but is nowhere near the rest of the pack now, which is pretty spread out already. So that promotes red back up into 2nd place. Red might still be able to win this if orange makes a mistake or something, which would be pretty insane considering they went to plumb last, except for Cyan, plumb last at the start of the first lap. But so far orange has showed no weakness and hasn't struggled at all. So it's been a very impressive drive from the car who has got 2 podiums and is 5th in the standings at the moment with 50 points. Definitely could be an outside championship shot depending on how long the season ends up being, but yeah, it's a very promising race here, and if you can keep up the good form, then there could be a 3rd challenger in the championship as we hop on board with red going into corner 1. Full send, full push. You can hear the tyres screeching under pressure there, but it's a good corner onto the curb, coming in through the fast-paced S's, and you can see there's a tyre on the curb there. I wonder if that's a hazard, and that's why they're all avoiding it, because otherwise tyres are pretty heavy pretty big, so if you hit one, it's going to do a lot of damage to the front of your car. Entering onto the straight towards the famous chicane. You can't even see orange there that far ahead in the race. As you can see here, there's a tyre on the curb. That's not very safe, but the drivers must know and are able to avoid it, so we're not going to call a red flag just for that. And of course we can't do yellow flags because we don't have a safety car or a way for the cars to follow the safety car. There goes red through the chicane, fully hooked up. That looks good from red. Fully in control there and able to hit all of the apexes in the very tricky section of the track. Now coming around the long bend, red looks completely in control of that car, unlike some of the other drivers that we've seen out here today. Definitely one of the standouts of the season so far, alongside Cyan, and then blue and also probably orange have been my top picks for the season. Just able to find their way into the top couple of positions even when it doesn't go well for them, or they have troubles, like red in the first lap. As we can see, black there has crashed and is out of the race. Must have just been from that damage earlier when they went off and hit yellow, so that only leaves 4 cars left in the race. A full 6 cars are out already. So for the next race, that's probably going to be in Suzuka at this stage, we're probably going to shorten the race, only make it a couple of laps and actually have it be a set laps instead of a set time period, so it's easier to follow, just because at the moment not enough cars are finishing the races and we need the cars to finish, because otherwise at the end they're all too spread out and there's no action. This is really good though for purple and green, some guaranteed solid points. They're 9th and 10th in the championships, so they're both in last positions. Green is actually pretty close to the tail of the pack, only 2 points away from the next driver, but purple doesn't even have half of what green has in the championship, so it's a really good opportunity for both of them to score some solid points and get themselves back into the fight, or at least not in last. As we approach half race distance, there isn't probably going to be much action from now on, so I'll just have to talk about what's going on in the championship, because there is quite a couple of changes coming in the near future, just to make the process a little bit more easy, so I can pump more videos and more races out and hopefully make them more interesting and engaging, so that I can expand my audience. If you are watching this right now, please do comment below, tell me what you want to see in the future, who you go for, what color you go for. It's always more enjoyable if you go for a specific driver or color, and also where do you want me to go next for the races. There's plenty of great BeamNG mods and maps out there that I can try and test the AI on. They don't work everywhere. I've tried places like Monaco, which they just crash all the time, and Bathurst, that doesn't have AI, but I'm going to try add AI support to that track and do a race there. But there's still empty spots in the calendar, so I don't even know how long I'm going to have the calendar be at the moment. It's planned to be 16, but if we're only at race 6 and it's taken like 8 months so far, I might not do a full calendar just for this first season, and then I guess chuck all my eggs into the next season. Also, would you like the drivers to have teammates? Like, there's 2 of each color, and possibly the second car will be inverted colors, so like the parts where it's white will be orange and the parts where it's orange will be white, so we can tell them apart. The only problem I have with that is that 20 cars is a lot for my computer to handle, and that also would be annoying to find some way to reference to the 2 cars differently, like what I call them, orange 1 and orange 2, or light orange and dark orange. There wouldn't be an easy way to name them, so that's why at the moment there's only 1. Should I just add more colors? Is that an option? Or should I cut some colors and then double it so I only have 16, and that would be a bit more manageable? All good ideas. As red locks up, but still keeps it on the track. The class of red is just much higher than some of the other cars. He's definitely more skilled as we go past the curb with the wheel on it. Red is, I think, gaining on orange. Earlier in the race, red wasn't able to see orange, but now red is gaining, just getting closer. Not in an attacking position yet, but definitely gaining ground. There comes purple in 3rd, and then green's somewhere further back in 4th. So it's actually getting a bit more close now in the later stages of this race. It's really interesting how at the start all the drivers are completely random, there's no better driver, and at the moment when they race, they're all still completely equal, yet some colours just manage to be better race after race, and it's that consistency that's really interesting, even though it should be completely random. I am also thinking of making qualifying not random, because I have this way to simulate qualifying for F1 that I use for some projects that might be coming in the near future. But if I can just assign, say, red to Verstappen and Cyan to Piastri, then they will always qualify closer to the front compared to the other struggling cars like purple, which I could assign to a Haas or a Sauber or something, so that when I choose the grid they'll be at the back more often than not. Just be an interesting way to create differences, and obviously if a driver does really well, they can get assigned to a better F1 driver for the qualifying. But that's another idea I'm thinking of doing. I also want to completely redo the UI, because at the moment it's pretty basic. The replay screen as we drive past the pretty smashed up line, and also the timing tower I want to update so it looks a bit more like F1, a bit less clunky and big. If you like it the way it is, please tell me. If you like to see what I can do for a change, that's also an option. I just want to hear feedback from the people watching these videos. This is the last lap of the race. We're going to wrap it up a little earlier than we do so that we don't just lose all of our cars and have like a one-car race. Imagine that. Oh, red spun. Red spun on the last lap here, and purple is going to snatch that second position. This is big points for purple, and red is losing points in the championship battle with that position and is on the back foot. That's an uncharacteristic mistake from our championship leader. So far it's been a pretty controlled race for him, other than that first lap incident which put him all the way down at the back, and he's been able to just really stay in the race and stay racy, make overtakes when he can, take opportunities when they arise, and that's what has put him in the podium positions. But at this rate he might lose them, because he is losing ground towards green at the moment, and orange is looking pretty set in stone for a win here. It's been a very good race from him, has been controlled right from the first lap, and red's off. This is going to play right into green's hands, and this is more drama for red as he has made another mistake in this final lap, and green comes around now. That's not a very big gap, so if red doesn't make any mistakes, he should be able to make it home, but otherwise green is ready and waiting for any little slip-ups that red can have as we go down into the second part of the lap. And red's locking up, red's spinning, red's going to spin. Another mistake on this last lap for red. It's really been a horror show for him as green just sails on by, as we see on board in his car. But that's really uncharacteristic from red. I'm sure he must have some sort of car damage here, because he's dropped down from second to fourth in one lap out of the podium positions. And it's a dream for purple and green, who are the only two cars not to step on the podium in the past 5 races. They both have 0 podiums to its name, but they'll be getting their first now, so that everyone will at least have 1 podium. It's been a very good drive from both of them. They do deserve it, but all the credit has to go to orange today, who has led from the first lap to the last, taking advantage of that first lap incident, and after that really hasn't had any doubts. So in Watkins Glen International, orange wins the race, followed closely by purple. An amazing race from him, bouncing back from his drought of points, and red is in the gravel. Red might not even finish, even though it's the last lap. This won't change anything, but it will really take a hit of confidence as green now comes over the line in 3rd position, completing the podium. It's been a superb race from him, just staying out of trouble, and there red is confirmed to be out of the race. A really bad last lap for him, losing a position to both purple and green, and then not even finishing the race, as we see a replay of what happens. And that engine didn't sound healthy, did it? He just can't stop the car, and it's just going to slide into the gravel, even a little spin. He had no grip there, struggling where a lot of the other cars did. He looked so strong for most of the race, so I don't believe that's his fault. I believe it might be a car issue, but still, nonetheless, he loses points. He still leads the championship, as we can see here. It's now a 12-point gap between Cyan and red. Orange is now only 1 point behind Cyan, followed by lime, who is tying with blue, and then black is tying with green. The mid-pack there is very close, only 2 points separating the cars from 4th to 7th, and then yellow is only a further 5 behind. Despite the podium, purple remains in last place, but at least the gap isn't nearly as bad as it was earlier. Only a further 6 points to Pink, who was in 44 points in 9th position. Still only the one win and the one podium for Pink in the same race. I think that was in Spa. He's starting to struggle in the last half of the season. He's lost 2 positions in the championship. Orange has gained 2, green has gained 2, and lime and blue have both each lost 1. The top 2 stay the same, as red still extends his advantage. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's race. It was quite a good one at the start, but a bit of a slow burner at the end. Very interesting for the championship. Hope you can join us next time as we head to Suzuka. That'll be a good one, and we're going to have a couple of changes with the way everything works then, so hopefully it's a bit fresh, a bit new, a bit more exciting. Until then, bye bye.